YouTube, what is happening, and welcome to another episode of Sports Talk with Camden. I believe this is our fourth episode so far, and if you can't tell, I'm recording this night before. It's like 11:15 at night right now. It's laundry day, Sunday day. Peep the laundry behind me. Peep the book bash shirt too, if you know, you know. Let's hop right into this. What are we talking about today? Because last week we did NFL, week before that we did NBA, and the week before that we did college football. Now, WNBA season just started. NHL is almost in their Stanley Cup finals, and Formula One just had like their biggest race of all time. College baseball is in their postseason, college softball is in their postseason, so a lot of things are heating up. Oh, and MLB season's going on, but like I ain't talking about any of those because for one, either their season just start or I don't know enough about hockey or about baseball to sit here and put my thoughts out for 15 minutes. But we're diving back into basketball because I am witnessing history, as well as some of you, probably a lot of us actually, if Boston is able to come in and win Game 7 here, which is going to be today for you guys, but tomorrow for me. Happy Memorial Day, by the way. You should be seeing this Monday, May 29th. Heat fans, I got to figure it out. I am the curse. I am the reason why you guys are blowing the leads, because when I watch you guys, it's a poop shoot. Like, I turn on the game, and it's 16-3 run Celtics, and then I turn it off, and hey, look, Miami's tied it back up. And if you've been keeping up with my reels or with my shorts, I haven't posted a Game 5 or a Game 6 reel. I don't even think I posted a Game 4 reel. Reason being is because I've worked the last 3-ish games. I've been working from whatever hours to 11 Eastern, which means I've missed pretty much every game. But Saturday, we got out a little bit early, and I was able to listen to the last 7 minutes in the car. I went to go get gas, and I was like, ooh, 1-point game. Let's turn it on, see if Miami can win. And then the Celtics went on that fantastic run to go up by, 12, 13, 10 points, whatever it was. I turned it off, drove to where I was going. I turned it on my phone, heater down by 2. I'm like, what happened? So I listened to the last pretty much 6 minutes, 5 minutes of it, and then I missed the whole Heat run, and I turned it back on to watch Jimmy to sink those clutch free throws, and then the shot, the Marcus Smart, the Derek White. I know Heat fans are going to be like, oh, sick to their stomach about this, because their nightmare is becoming a reality right now with Boston on the brink of coming back from down 3-0, and it just, you people that are going to be out there saying it's scripted are the same people that were like, oh, Celtics and Lakers scripted, blah blah blah. It's not scripted, guys, come on. One thing I'll say is, I don't want to toot my own horn, but if you go back to my first short about what I thought about the Eastern Conference Finals, I said that, hey, Miami's going to win Game 1 and the Celtics are going to win in 7. Now, it doesn't matter how we got here, but we're here now because it don't matter down from 3-0 as long as Celtics win in 7. I'm right. Game 3, I was like, oh, this series is over. But it's obviously not. So let's dive into last night's game. And even I have thoughts on games, at least 5 and 6. I don't remember if Game 4 had a similar outcome. But there's been games, I think it was Game 4, where Miami's been within 5 points late in the fourth quarter, like 7-8 minutes left. That's not that late, but late in the game. And then these were the opportunities where the Celtics were not showing up, where the Heat were going on those runs to end games. And all of a sudden in these games, the Celtics are hitting more shots. Joe Mazzulla is looking better. Hey, look at that. Celtics hit more shots. Joe Mazzulla looks like a better coach. I don't know what the correspondence is, but late in games, Miami's been falling apart recently. And I know that they had that great comeback in this game, and they had that great comeback, I think it was Game 1. But in order to have a great comeback, you have to fall apart. So there's been times where Miami has shown weakness and where Miami has been the weaker team, but there's been some late game heroics from some of these guys that have been what puts them to win some of these games, and people forget about it all because they win the game. But now they lose this game off of Derek White's insane tip-in. Shout out Derek White. I mean, that was a fantastic play. But now the weaknesses are being shown. It's like, oh, Miami kind of fell apart there. I mean, from what I saw there, I think it was 82-81 when I turned it on. And Jimmy and Bam were, what were they, like 9 for 33 or something, 7 for 33, some ridiculous number like that at this point. And the guys on the call, Van Gundy and Harlan, said something about it. But where are your stars when you need them? Because where have they been the last couple games? I mean, hey, if they come out and shine here in Game 7 and they win, it's like maybe they were just resting up, because Jimmy's still sitting on the sideline with a smile. He's still sitting on the bench smiling in a way. He doesn't look very scared, so who knows if Miami's got something up their sleeve. Now, when you look at the Game 7 that we're about to see tomorrow night for me, tonight for you guys, I think we can look at this like Boston has not been a great team at home. But again, it's the same thing with the Sixers series. They have to lose 3 games at home in order to lose the series, and I just don't see that happening, right? Game 7 back in Boston, it was like Wait a minute. You're telling me the only way for Philly to win is if they win 3 road games? Boston's been unbelievable on the road themselves in these last 2 series. But at home, not the same team. So we've seen them struggle at home. But when they needed him in Game 7, Jason Tatum has stepped up, and maybe he will again. It's hard telling. I'll get my pick in a little bit because I'm going to unjinx the jinx, if that makes any sense. But Miami, things they got going for them, they obviously have the better coach. Now, Joe Mazzulla, let's defend the guy because he's been putting together a couple better plays out of timeouts. Late game, they've been the better team in the last couple of games. Now, I know you could say, hey, Boston fell apart there in the last couple of minutes of Game 6. Yeah, Miami did with 6 minutes left. So both teams had their runs because everyone's going to go on runs. But in the last 3 games, it's been Boston that has closed the games better. It's been Boston that has been the better team down the stretch. And there's no denying that. So Stars got to play big in Game 7 in Boston. Loud crowd. Will Tatum beep boop boop text Kobe before the game? Drop 24, 10 and 10. Maybe more than that. I don't know. But Jaylen Brown, the elbow issue becoming a real deal. I'm going to look at the stats real quick. Yeah, the one thing that jumps out to me looking at these stats is that Tatum and Brown were combined 0 for 12 from 3, and they still won this game. So this is probably their worst shooting game. And by the way, something's totally wrong with Jaylen Brown, right? We could see that. He's not shooting the same. He's probably like, 1 for 25-ish. That doesn't sound right. But he's shooting terribly from 3. So something's obviously wrong with him. He's playing through some sort of injury. But Marcus Smart also back-to-back 20-point games. Heard the guys talk about this on air. Impressive out of him. I love Marcus Smart now. I didn't like him at Oklahoma State. I thought he was a nutcase, I guess. But then you hear his whole story, and it's like, hey, he's a good guy. I remember he had some anger issues back in college, and he was punching guys, getting kicked out of the game. So Marcus Smart, guy's a player, though. Loves Boston, fits Boston. After game 3, everyone's like, trade Smart, trade Tatum, trade Brown, blow it up. And everyone's like, oh, this team's going to win a championship. As for my Game 7 prediction, I'm going to pick the Boston Celtics to do the unthinkable. Now, if you would have told me 3-0, hey, Celtics are going to win 4 straight games, I'd be like, no, they're not. But you take it game by game. It sounds so cliche, but just win 1. Just win 2. And if you're telling me I just need them to win 1 game, I'm going with Boston. Now, hey, Jimmy Butler might step up, drop 40 points because they're going to need it from him. They haven't got it from him all series. But if you're telling me 1 game, life on the line, I'm taking Boston at home, Game 7. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. I'm trusting them more. Now, Miami, more than capable to win it. I think they have the better coach in this series. But after the way that Bam Adebayo has been playing the last couple games, after Jimmy kind of being underwhelming after doing the whole Al Horford T-pose, whatever that was, to call a timeout, they've been underwhelming. And so my prediction would be Celtics to win. And by the way, that's me unjinxing the jinx because I was like, oh, Boston's in trouble a couple days ago. No way they come back. And so here's me righting my wrong and saying Celtics are going to win this game. So Heat fans, you might have a win tonight. So this would leave the Celtics to play the Nuggets, which I believe is a lot better matchup than the Nuggets to play the Heat because, let's be honest, if it was the Heat to win this game, they'd have to go on the road and play 3 days after Game 7 to that altitude where Denver's been for the last week and a half. They would have, I believe, 10 days of rest at least. 9 days of rest, something like that. Like, Game 1 already be in the books. Now, I'm saying that now, but watch it happen where Miami just, boom, beats them in Game 1. But I would say that's a lock to take Denver in Game 1. And Game 1 kind of determines the series. It makes the series a lot tougher when you're playing from behind. And that's something that it looks like Miami would have to do. So I would go Nuggets. Obviously, the Nuggets are already in. Nuggets versus Celtics as my finals matchup tomorrow night is when we'll see that come to fruition. But yeah, I think the Celtics are going to get out of this thing. I think we're going to see our first ever Game 7 comeback after being down 3-0. What's the number? 159, 149 to 0 or 150 to 0? I don't know what it is, but we'll see if Tatum and those guys can make history. Looking at it, it's going to have to be Jason Tatum. Game 7, if Tatum doesn't score 25 or more, I don't see why they win that game. And he might still score 25 or more and lose that game. Jaylen Brown needs to score 20 because if he's going to put up 15, 16, it's not going to be close. You need your top guys to be able to score, and I believe they will. I think Tatum had, 30-something in the last game. Jaylen Brown at 26, Marcus Smart 20-plus points. You're getting guys that are scoring, and that's what you got to keep doing in Boston. Role players will play a little bit better. If we go look at that Nuggets series, right now, I put my money on the Nuggets to win the finals. I don't think that's saying a lot, but if Boston wins this game, they get home court advantage. They had, I believe, 4 games that they were better than Denver. which is something I didn't know until today because Boston was a 2 seed, Denver was a 1 seed. So I was like, oh, Denver must be better. But Boston won, I believe, 57 games while Denver won 53. So Denver would have to come to Boston and play game 1, which is not a surefire victory, even though they've had 10 days of rest because they're going to Boston. Basically, what I'm saying is I'd feel more comfortable about playing Miami in game 1 than having to play Boston if I was Denver. But obviously, they'll come out and say, we don't care. We'll play anyone. We're the Denver Nuggets. We'll play whoever we want. The last thing I'm going to do before I let y'all go is give you my top 5 players in this series if it's going to be Heat versus Nuggets. Because I did it wrong. I did it wrong about a week or 2 ago, 3 weeks ago, where I said Nikola Jokic was the 3rd best player in the playoffs. Just put him at number 1. All right, he's the best player remaining. Someone in the comments said that. You guys are right. Nikola Jokic, I slept on him. I didn't watch enough Denver basketball. He's number 1. All right, after watching him throw up the worst 3-point rainbow shots that made my stomach drop as a Lakers fan, it was awful. So Nikola Jokic, number 1. Number 2, Jimmy Butler, if they make it. And you can kind of say the same thing. If it's number 2, it's Jason Tatum. Now, this is where I think the Nuggets need to be stable, is in the Jamal Murray position. Now, he's been fantastic so far, but this is going to be his first time in NBA Finals. It's going to be Jokic's first time in NBA Finals, but I think Jokic is he's going to get his. He's going to be all right, but we'll see how 26-year-old Jamal Murray shines in the playoffs, but I'd put him at the 3rd best player if he was in the NBA Finals in that series against either Boston or Miami. And then the 4th best player is interchangeable between Jaylen Brown and between Bam Adebayo. And then that 5th spot. 5th spot gets interesting because I'm looking at all 3 of these teams and I'm like, who from Miami can I put there other than Jimmy and Bam? Like, what am I going to put? Caleb Martin? Am I going to put Gabe Vincent, Kevin Love, Udonis Haslem, Tyler Hero if he's healthy? Tyler Hero might be the best player there, at the 3rd best player on the Miami Heat, but I am putting him above, I don't even know, Marcus Smart. So I think it comes down to Michael Porter Jr., which might sound surprising, but dude's long, dude can shoot, dude can play defense, dude can rebound. Michael Porter Jr. has been a really nice key player for them in this playoffs, and I think that in the NBA Finals, he would be the 5th best player, which would give the Nuggets a 3-2 advantage on whoever they play on, having the best 5 players. Now, what does that mean? I don't know. I'd pick the Nuggets to win the Finals, beat the Miami Heat in probably 5, but let's be realistic. If it's Miami Heat, they'll probably have to take 6 because Spo and Jimmy are just like that. And if it's Celtics, I take Nuggets in 7. Those are going to be my predictions for the NBA Finals. If you enjoyed, hey, let me know down below if you've made it this far. Comment, subscribe, like, do all that stuff because, hey, it really helps push these videos out. I'm having fun making this, and that's all that really matters. All that matters is if you guys enjoy the content, so let me know. I'm about to go play some 2K and record another video for this Friday. Been having some Wi-Fi issues, which sucks. So I'm going to try to get those videos out. I got 4 shorts to come out that I've already recorded, so stay tuned. Love y'all. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff. Please, please make that number go up. Bye-bye.